Hi, it's Karon Thackston with marketingwords.com. I'm here today with Amy Harrop because I want to talk about printables and a specific type of printable, but Amy is big into finding different niches for printable sellers and creating training to help you sell more on your Etsy shop and on other sites as well. So I just wanted to pick her brain a little bit. Welcome, Amy. I'm glad you could be here today.
Hi, Karon. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about how long you've been involved in printables as a whole?
Sure. I've been involved in really helping people create and sell and monetize content for a number of years now, well over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I was actually, I think, one of the first sort of people, probably about, I don't know, maybe about 4 years ago, where I really started to notice this whole low and no content niche where people were creating and selling products that didn't really have a lot of writing in them. And then I also started to see the popularity of selling more like individual types of printables as opposed to like a complete book. And, you know, we've really seen that grow in popularity over the last few years. So it's definitely something I saw, and then it's been exciting because it's a great way for people to get involved and to be able to get online selling content quickly and easily.
And I love the passive income aspect of printables because you don't have to have your own website if you don't want one. You don't have any physical inventory that you have to purchase, no upfront major expenses that come out of your profits. You know, everything is done electronically and it's very quick. And I've seen printable planners, I've seen printable journals and to-do lists and tracker pages and, you know, children's chore charts and all sorts of stuff like that. But you have come up with a training about party printables. So tell me what led you to believe this would be something that would take off as big as it has taken off.
Well, I think, again, just looking at data and trends, I mean, one of the reasons I think party printables have become more popular recently is because after the sort of period where people were staying home and there was a lot of isolation, people started to get outside more and mix more, and they wanted to resume their celebrations and their milestones and parties and things like that. So there's a big surge in interest because of that. And I also just think because of the shift where people are getting more things online, instead of going to your local stationery store or your craft store and getting a bunch of stuff for a celebration or a party, it can be a lot easier just to download and print out what you need. So yeah. I think with those two things and just the overwhelming popularity of parties in general, I mean, party planning, you know, when you're talking about like weddings, anniversaries, birthday parties, graduations, like many things in life, it's a lot of the women in the family that are putting that together and doing that, and they're making the buying decisions. And, you know, they're wanting to make things, you know, be easier for themselves without having to, you know, go and spend hundreds of dollars at some stationery store or something.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to me, though, maybe I'm not as crafty as I should be, but it seems complicated. And I guess it could be complicated if you weren't taught the right strategies and the correct ways to set these up so that your customer would have an easy time of it. But for me, I would be more likely to go on Etsy or Amazon and order something that's already finished and have it shipped to me in 2 days and I'm done with it. But it seems like there is just this overwhelming segment of the population who wants to do things themselves, you know, order it, print it out, put it together and things like that.
Right. And as a seller, you can make it as easy as possible for your customer. You don't have to offer extensive personalization options or have things be super complicated. It can really just be click on it, download it, and print it out. And I also think one reason that people really like these now too is the waste factor, because a lot of times when you buy decorations and party type things, you have to get a certain amount and then they just end up sitting there in the back of your closet. Whereas if you're doing them, downloading them and using them as you need them, then you don't have that waste involved. which I think is also appealing to people too.
That's true. I will, true story. I still have thank you notes from my wedding, which took place in another month, will be 29 years ago. Because there was a minimum order. And back then, 100 years ago, there were no printables. So yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about with that. And that makes perfect sense. But instead of starting from scratch, you're talking about creating them and making them as easy as possible for the customer to assemble and whatnot. And I imagine that would take a little bit of work, but do you have to start from scratch every single time?
I guess just to sort of say I'm talking more on I was talking more on the customer's end to make it easy for them.
Yes.
But certainly, I mean, I have, made it as easy as possible with my training for the seller just to step in, because I have done a lot of the research. I've already identified what sells and what's popular. And then not only that, I've also basically created the products for them so that with the templates, they're just very easy to get in there and quickly modify and then put their listing up. So, as I think I say in there, I've done like 99% of the work. So a person can just go ahead and start moving forward and getting their listings up.
And in Easy Party Printables, you talk about your rinse and repeat method. So tell me a little bit about how that works. I create one product and then how am I rinsing and repeating?
Well, once you have one thing, you can obviously take that and do variations of the product, but you can also just follow the same method for the other products because a variety of templates are included. So it's simply doing the process where you modify the product, which doesn't take long and is very easy to do. And then you get it up and then you just continue to go through the rest of the templates and get them up, because I've already identified things like keywords, what's specifically popular, what categories are popular, that sort of thing. So you can get those up and running in a very brief amount of time. And then in addition to that, once they start selling, you can then just go ahead and see what's selling. And because again, these are templates, you can quickly modify them or make variations of them as well. So let's say, for example, what's popular are maybe, kids' birthday invitations, right, with animals or something. So maybe one type is selling. So then maybe you take that and you put a different animal on the invitation or something like that.
Really simple changes.
Yeah.
So instead of selling giraffe birthday invitations, now you're selling hippopotamus birthday invitations, and that gives you a whole new product because you just made that one change.
Right, right.
Awesome. And then what about, could you do something like using almost the same invitation or place cards or whatever printables are created for a party, and do one for Sweet 16 and maybe another one for, is it pronounced quinceanera? I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Quinceanera.
Yeah. And those would be close. So that it seems like that wouldn't take too much of a change. And then you've got two products.
Yeah, you could change the text and then have it apply to that different audience as well. You could take something that is maybe like a Super Bowl party, and then you can maybe make a few changes and change that to like an Oscar viewing party or something like that. I mean, there's lots of different ways that these could be quickly modified to create additional products.
Yeah, and do it really quickly. That sounds like a lot of fun. So in the Easy Party Printables training, walk me through what I get if I purchase that.
Well, you get quite a few things. I mean, the main thing, or I guess, well, there's a lot. I mean, because I really have made this a complete solution. So what you get is you get the in-depth PDF guide, and this is very in-depth. And then that also comes, and that walks you through both the market, the sub niches, what's popular, the type of audience, and just a lot of different things like that. And then I've also included checklists where you can go through those and follow the steps to create and list products as well. In addition to that, it also comes with over-the-shoulder video training. So you can actually see how to do things like take an idea that maybe you see is already selling from somebody else on Etsy and modify it and make it your own so it's unique. And I also go into using Canva templates to create products as well, because that's such a great resource.
Right.
I've also included how you can do research for printable niches. And then one of the things that's really great is I've also included the product templates. So not only is the training, and I like to call this like an implementation, because you get the training, and then instead of going like, oh, okay, I have the training, what do I do next? You just turn over and start modifying your templates and getting those up. So, and these are a wide variety of templates, 31, and there are different types of popular party printables. So it's not just invitations, there's other things. And one of the things I think is really cool too, is that these come in both PowerPoint and Canva format. And I think some people just don't really like Canva, even though I think it's an incredible and very powerful and easy to use tool. But because it's online and people have to go online to use it, sometimes they don't like it. Some people prefer PowerPoint. So I've included those, but in both of them. So you can have those in both formats.
Oh, that's awesome. Now you mentioned something about being unique. So isn't there's something on Etsy in their house rules, I believe is where I saw it, where you can't resell on Etsy. You can't take something that somebody else totally created and resell it as is. And how does that work into your training?
Well, that's part of the reason that the templates are they're templates, they're not PDF files, because you need to modify them. And it really just makes good business sense as well, because in addition, of course, to wanting to follow Etsy's terms of service, which is, selling the same thing everybody else is selling, exactly the same on Etsy, you also you want to differentiate yourself. So we already know this is a popular niche. The good news, though, is it's super easy to differentiate with these types of products. I mean, going back to what we were talking about creating variations, you can do things as simple as changing the background color, changing the text, changing the font, changing the image, and all of those changes. You don't have to do all of those either. You could just pick like one or two, and those could all be done in like a few quick clicks with either program.
Okay, that makes sense.
And in the guide, I include some of in the shoulder video training, and in the training how to use the templates. I even talk about some of the types of changes you can make as well. So you can follow that. That's included too. So people know exactly what they need to do to change, to make it different for them.
Well, you did. You included pretty much everything in there. I think everything you've made. Every time you mention something, I go, "Oh wow! Oh, okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. That's very good." So, is this only for people who are familiar with printables, who have their own Etsy shop? They understand PowerPoint and Canva, and they're pretty much pros at this?
No, this is really designed for people who want to get up and running very quickly and don't actually have a lot of knowledge or experience. It's very easy to get started on Etsy and to list on Etsy. And the templates themselves are so easy as well. And I also include an Etsy selling secrets bonus, which again, just kind of helps people, get more visibility on Etsy and insider secrets. So no, this is definitely something with the written training, the over the shoulder videos, the done for you templates, where anybody who, has a little bit of time to just go through the material and do the templates, they can get up and running. I mean, everyone's different, of course, but conceivably somebody could download this and get their first product up in the same day, after they've opened their shop. It's very easy.
That is awesome. Yeah, because of everything you've included, it sounds like it would be very easy to do. But what if people get into it and then they have questions as they're going through the training?
Well, if they have questions, they can also write me at the help desk. But I have really designed the training to be very thorough. And, I'm a former teacher. So one of the things I like to do when I'm putting together training and content is to think about and anticipate questions. And that's why I've developed things like the checklist. So you can learn and make sure and have the material there in front of you. So, and then get your questions answered. But of course, if there is something that's not answered, if somebody has a specific question or a personal use case that they need more assistance with, I'm always happy to help them out with that.
Awesome. Sounds wonderful. And I have gotten from you a very generous coupon code for Easy Party Printables, and I'm going to include that along with the link to find your training. down below in the description. So look for that if you are interested in getting Amy Harrop's Easy Party Printables, because there are, I can't even name all the occasions and the holidays and the different celebrations that people might throw parties, you know, sporting events and all the life markers, you know, the different phases of life where, you know, you graduate from high school and graduate from college and a new job and a retirement and a new home and a wedding and a baby and and then all the holidays throughout the year, you know, the typical holidays for that. So I can think of probably 20 or 25 right off the top of my head. So it is naturally a huge market because people need all of these types of things for all the different celebrations that they plan to host in their homes or in other places. So it's easy to see how this would be a very large market and have a lot of need, repeated need. I would imagine there would be a whole lot of repeat sales in this.
Oh, definitely. I mean, these are evergreen niches. And one of the things I was thinking about too, when we were talking about that, is there's also sort of new and emerging celebrations like Galentine's Day, which is for Valentine's Day for your friends, or what's it, Juneteenth or June 19th, the new sort of holiday recognition that we're starting to see more of. So, you know, you can go with the tried and true, which is great, and you should, but then there's even new and more popular ones. You know, I was just thinking, one of the things that's become super popular is like the Eurovision Song Contest. So if you wanted to do a viewing party for that, you could put together something. So there's a lot of the perennial bestsellers. I mean, they're not going to be going away. People are going to be getting married, having babies, graduating, celebrating anniversaries. And then there's also some of these new and emerging celebrations and holidays as well. So it makes it very much a long-term, but also exciting area to be in, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Amy Harrop, thank you so much for talking with me about printables and about your Easy Party Printables training. I'll leave the coupon code and the link below in the description section so that anybody who's interested in that can pick it up. It's been awesome talking with you. I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Karon, for having me. It's been my pleasure.